another episode of Last Week in Comics, where I talk about the last week in comics. I usually do like a cold open, and I don't have one this week because, like, shit sucks now. If I have to turn in my ID to keep on using YouTube, I just simply will not use YouTube. It's one of those weird weeks where, like, we're between months, so, like, not much came out. But, like, shit still came out that pissed me the fuck off. So, let's get into it with the Justice League Dark Tomorrow special. Spoiler alert, Booster's not fucking in it. You see him doing his little, like, sad anime girl cry on the cover? Yeah, he's not fucking in this shit. Like, legitimately, the plot is that we're now doing synergy with Legends of Tomorrow, of all goddamn things in the fucking universe. So we have this new character called Legend that is so obviously Rip Hunter, it is kind of laughable. I know people are like, oh, but they say, like, a girl can dream, talking about Marilyn Moonlight. Moonlight. And I'm like, yeah, but that's just a phrase people say. If I was planning on making this Rip Hunter and I wanted to put in clues that dissuaded people from thinking it was Rip Hunter, that's what I would do. You know, because I know the Rip Hunter fans. I know how, like, detail-oriented and specific they are about, like, very minute things. So, of course, they would take that and be like, oh, it can't be Rip, actually. Because no one wants Rip in Legends synergy right now. What are we doing here? And I wish I was being like, haha, it's Legends synergy, but no, like, legitimately, the ship from Legends shows up in here. Which is probably because, A, the time sphere isn't big enough, but also, B, currently in DC, Trinity has the time sphere for some reason, which also made Stack for a hot minute think that it was going to be Trinity. And I'm like, if they do that, then they have just burned all goodwill that they have. Like, is single-handedly. This character named Legend is starting a new team. Basically, the Legends of Tomorrow. We have Terry McGinnis, Batman Beyond in there. We have a Huntress. It's Helena Wayne. And her suit just got uglier for some reason, but at least it doesn't get confused with Bird Nelly anymore. Airwave? For some reason? Marilyn Moonlight, which is a welcomed exception. I wish that she was just in more books, and same thing with Gold Beetle, who I also just wish was in more books overall. And they're doing something really interesting with Gold Beetle right now, where essentially because, Gold Beetle is the accumulation of, the line of Blue Beetles and the line of Booster Golds, okay? She's essentially a ship child, and I'm okay with that. But because Booster has been, like, erased from existence, not really erased from existence, he has been sent in the future and erased memory-wise from the present. Now she's kind of having an identity crisis where she's like, I'm Blue Beetle, but I don't know who the other person is. And she's kind of, like, fading in and out of existence. And quite honestly, the entire special could have just been focusing on that, and I would have had a great ass time. Because I think the biggest problem with this book is that it's doing too much. Like, I think that, like, the thing, like, surrounding Legend and who they might possibly be, and the stuff that's happening with Gold Beetle, that combined could be its whole entire book, like, to itself. But for some reason, we're still doing fucking subplots with, like, Airwave over there, and then we have to, like, make up a reason for Terry and fucking Huntress to be, Terry and Helena Wayne to be here, and it's just, we're doing too much. We're doing way too fucking much. Oh, I forgot that Jonah Hex was there. That's how many fucking characters make up this Legends team that, like, it doesn't even fucking matter. None of this matters. Oh, and Plastic Man's there. What the fuck? I'm just forgetting members. There's too many members. Like the real like CW's Legends of Tomorrow, there's too many fucking people on this team. But yeah, apparently they're going to be showing up in Justice League Unlimited and DCKO. Really proving that this is just another crisis event. A lot of this book seems to be based in, like, wanting to get, like, they assume that people want, like, Terry McGinnis and, like, Helena Wayne into the main universe, so they're trying to get them into the main universe, when, like, you guys have, like, published multiple Batman Beyond comics, And, like, none of them do well. Like, they have, like, their 30, 40-year-old fans, like most comic books do, but, like, they don't do more than that. This entire, like, book is confusing to me for that reason. Because, like, who's asking for this? And I'm saying this as a Booster Gold, like, I have a fucking ad for Time Masters back there. I am asking this as someone who is highly invested in the Time Masters. Who asked for this? I mean, like, yeah, sure, we all asked for, like, Rip to be back, and it seems like he is, because, like, we see Legend say, like, oh, the last time I was at Vanishing Point, and, like, who the fuck else is at Vanishing Point? Who is at Vanishing Point like that? It's Rip? Stack is whispering to me off camera saying that it's the linear men spaced first. Here's my thing. Who remembers the linear men?
They were mentioned in the special.
Them being mentioned in the special does not mean anything. The Time Masters were mentioned in the description. You think anyone remembers anyone other than Corky? You know what? Here's my new theory right now. Legend is actually a older Corky. I'm locking in my answer right now. I know in my heart because he's the only one who's been brought up in a major way since fucking Booster Gold Volume 2? Vanishing Point? That miniseries that no one remembers? But yeah, this book, leaves much to be desired, because I do think that, quite honestly, this should have been focused on Gold Beetle. Gold Beetle is, like, the most interesting part of this book. Gold Beetle is the only, like, real legacy character that Booster Gold has, so having her fade in and out of existence is an interesting, like, plot point that I wish that they would just, like, expand on. But they're not, because no one gives a fuck about Gold Beetle except for me and Stack. Can't stop talking about this book. It's giving me a migraine. It's a Dark Tomorrow special. Is it good? No. Did I buy 3 copies of it? Yes. They had a Gold Beetle variant, and they also had a Booster Gold variant. And I'm irresponsible with my money. The other book I actually, kind of read this week, is DC's summer special, DC California Love. Which, like, okay. So we're just gonna go over, so there's fucking, like, 9 stories in here? It's a lot. I kind of lost track. Maybe it's only like 7, but it was a lot. I had to split up reading it over like 2 days because I was like, even I was like, this is too much. So the first one is about Clark and Lois's relationship and like, you know, like Clark saving Lois from like a giant sea monster. It really it starts getting good at the second one, where we get to experience Jimmy Olsen being at this same event as his gorilla ex-wife. I love it when they take classic, Superman pal Jimmy Olsen stories and bring them into the modern day. So, Jimmy Olsen's, like, ex-gorilla wife is currently with Gorilla Grodd, and, like, him and Jimmy end up in, like, a gorilla competition. To avoid, like, an awkward situation, he's like, I invoke gorilla law, and we're gonna have some gorilla games. And it's like, what the fuck, Jimmy? And really, eventually you see it's just another excuse for Jimmy to cross-dress, because he does win the swimsuit competition. As we all expected from Jimmy Olsen, let's be honest here. Anyway, he cheats during the games, and he has this, like, really nice heart-to-heart with his ex-wife, before he gets thrown off of the building by Grodd. And this is exactly what I expected from this book. I honestly do kind of wish that we would get another Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen. I always think that series is like, it has its place. That and Superman's girlfriend, or whatever it was called, Lois Lane's original series. I do think that she is up there. So, like, there's, like, a list of, like, top, longest running female books. I think it's her and then the original Patsy Walker, who both have the total highest of just overall girls books. If we're talking specifically superheroes, I do think Wonder Woman beats them all out, but I don't Well, no, because longest running series, no. I don't know who beats them out. I do know that some of the two longest running female superhero comics are indeed Lois Lane and Patsy Walker. So, with that, I'm going to skip ahead and talk about the Lois Lane one because I did find this one interesting. So, Lois Lane is essentially being interviewed about... I can't tell if it's a potential murder, but, like, it's all about, like, getting her to, like, break and, like, snap, and she doesn't, and it's so fucking cool. With, like, how much Lois has grown as her own character with her own stories, I do genuinely think that we need a Lois Lane book back. Like, I think it's a disservice to literally everyone to not have a Lois Lane book out. I really like her. I think having her be sort of in a position where, like, I don't know how many people remember the old DC show Powerless, where it was focusing on a bunch of civilians dealing with a bunch of civilians in the world of superheroes. I think a Lois Lane book, kind of to the same degree, where she's doing actual reporter work, but in the grand scheme of having superheroes, kind of like an alias of sorts. I think that would be really interesting. I think that it would really, like, expand on Lois as a character, and I want that desperately. Oh, this one is the actual story I really do have opinions on. So, the next one after Jimmy's book Jimmy's issue is Power Girls, where Ice is featured, and I have some problems with it because it ends up being all about dating and men. What the fuck, DC? Like, it's all about how, oh, Tori, you need to date more, you know, I'm dating, and it's like, I thought we weren't gonna acknowledge Leah Williams' book. I was really hoping that, like, that would just, like, I don't even think that happened in Leah Williams' book. I don't know, I guess these are, in part, all supposed to be dealing with, like, love, but then you have, like, Supergirls and, like, I think even, like, John and Connors, who, like, don't deal with that subject, so it's kind of weird. Especially because it ends with with Tora calling Guy back. And it's like, hey, we should hang out. It's cute, it feels like an odd placement. That's all I'm saying. Oh, sure, okay, so the Bizarro one is all about how I didn't read some of these. Bizarro's is all about is him trying to do good, ending up, being him trying to be, like, a Hollywood star, and, you know, learning how to, like, help people and stuff. It's cute. There's so many fucking stories in this book. The one I did really read in full and really enjoy is the Natasha Irons story. I do want to give out a shout out to Brandon Thomas and Junie Baugh, who worked on this. You guys did an amazing job. I especially just love Junie Baugh's art overall, and just the way I just love how expressive Natasha is throughout this. It's so cute. So Natasha and John Irons are going on vacation in California, and there Natasha, like, sees this cute girl, and she's like, oh, hi. And the girl seems to be flirting back with her, too. And, you know, lesbians. Anytime that Natasha's, like, already, like, kind of on the fence about even vacationing in the first place. And they keep on getting called to do superhero activities on the side, so it's not really a vacation. And throughout it, she's still flirting with this girl up until, like, she eventually talks to her long enough that she gets invited to a wedding that the girl is going to at this resort. And unfortunately, another attack happens. But then she's like, oh, you're a superhero? Maybe we should, you know, hang out and stuff. And I love Natasha Irons. Anyway, Natasha's is really cute. Junie Baugh does an amazing job with the art. Once again, I have never had any complaints about him ever. And just, I don't know, it's a very, like, cute little, like, I don't want to call it a full love story, but it's cute. I really like the fact that, like, despite this, like, clearly being like, oh, hey, we're doing a Superman summer book, because the movie's coming out, they still make a place for Natasha, and she does have, like, probably the best one. I think that you should just read it. It's adorable. Jaime's in it. Jaime makes a cameo too. But like, yeah, it's adorable. That story makes this book entirely worth it. I did not read. So the next one is the Superboy and Connor Kent one. I did not read it because, to be fair, if Jay Nakamura is not with John, I don't give a fuck about John. I like Jay Nakamura better, and he's been absent from this, which makes me really nervous for when Secret 6 comes out next week. But, like, it's kind of them, like, reconciling, like, their relationship and kind of, like, it's a little bit of explanation for Khan's, like, place in the family, like, oh, you know, even though he is, you know, the clone son of Superman and Lex Luthor, he considers himself more Clark's brother, and that's why, like, he wants to keep his Superboy mantle, and John can be Superman, and all that kind of stuff. It's definitely made for people who really like these characters. I unfortunately only read John Kent Superman for Jay Nakamura, so... And then the last one is Kara's story. Like, it's all about, like, her inability to relax because, of course, everything is coming to get her constantly. And for some reason, John Constantine is there. And I don't know why John Constantine is there. Because I don't think they've ever talked. I could be wrong. They might have talked at some point. Not a lot. And I know a lot of Supergirl fans have been talking about the de-aging of Kara because right now in the DCU, Kara is much younger than she was in the previous adaptation, which was the CW Supergirl. And so that kind of change is a little jarring, especially because of how much work they've done to kind of age up Kara and make her feel older than both Khan and John. So it does feel a little weird. But also, at the same time, I think a lot of people are just equating to Kara is younger because she's wearing a crop top. And it's like, okay. Age discourse in DC is fucking ridiculous half the time because they just be making shit up all the time. But yeah, it's a cute Supergirl story. I like seeing the new suit in action. I don't know why John Constantine's there. Like, literally, could we have found, like, anyone else? Like, anyone fucking else? I would take literally anyone. We could do more CW synergy. Literally just anyone but this. Maggie Sawyer, maybe. I don't know. Maybe one of the lesbian cops. Just... Constantine, really? Overall thing with California Love, I'm never gonna not like the fact that they're doing these specials. I think that they all kind of have their place. I do like the holiday ones theme. I do like the holiday ones a little bit better. I feel like theming them all around like one specific family is limiting themselves, especially because you don't nearly have as many Superman, like, you don't actually have the entire Super Fam show up, because, well, no, I think the two twins had, like, one appearance. I don't know. It's definitely a book that came out, and is only worth it because of that Natasha Irons story. I'm still on it! I think that Natasha Irons deserves another series! Give it to me now! So, on to books I did not read, because I don't read most of the books. So DC Sonic the Hedgehog number 5 came out. I feel like if you are a very big fan of Sonic comics, you have been following the series quite dearly. I don't think that the same thing's happening with the DC fans, unfortunately. But also, good news for me specifically, because I like Amy Rose, they are coming out with plushies of all of the Sonic characters dressed up as the Justice League. Good. They announced it, like, officially at Comic-Con. Yeah, like, they didn't show Amy's. Oh. Which makes me concerned. But also, they also didn't show Tails. So I'm kind of thinking that, like, because it was just, like, a preview. Because, like, they showed the Amy action figure, but they didn't show the Amy plush. Yeah, so I'm like, I think it's just they showed a limited amount. Like, the fully finalized ones. But yeah, so I'm excited for that. Next up, The Flash issue 23. I think Wally's in hell right now. That's about as much as I got from Flash Twitter this week. Also, issue 8 of Batman The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween came out. I didn't know that DC was still making, like, maxi series. It's going for, like, 2 more issues, and I'm like, okay. If you are interested in Batman the Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, just buy it in trade. This book does not need your individual sales, is all I'm saying. Next up is Gotham City Sirens Unfit for Orbit number 5. The only thing I have to say about this book, other than I fucking hate Leah Williams, is the outfits are always, like, super fucking cute in this. And I'm like, why aren't these in the main titles? I mean, like, Poison Ivy is pretty much, yeah, she's been getting some cute outfits, but I'm talking specifically with Harley Quinn. Just fuck mainline Harley, I guess, because I don't even think that this book is canon. Or maybe it is, I don't know. This book is made just to sell covers, that's why they're releasing it all at once. Okay, and then the next 2 are both annuals. Nightwing Annual 2025. I have heard good thing. I've heard nothing about it. Let me be honest here. I've heard nothing about it. The only Nightwing news I have heard this week is about how Tom Taylor's fucking Nightwing is getting another omnibus, and a bunch of people started yelling because like, DC has so many fucking books that are, like, classics that, like, everyone needs to read that are not fucking, like, collected correctly anywhere. For example, Blue Beetle 86. Blue Beetle Jaime's years from, like, 2006 to, like, 2023. Booster Gold 86. Oh, Batgirl 2000. Like, Cassandra's, like, the first Batgirl series of all time has not been collected into an omnibus, despite it winning multiple fan polls that it needs to be put into an omnibus. So to see Tom Taylor's already got, like, fucking 3 of them, I think 4 with Injustice, it's laughable. It's ridiculous. I do think that, like, Nightwing fans are still pretty pleased with how the current book direction's going. I try not to interact with Bat Family fans as much as I possibly can. And I have some opinions about the Titans 2025 annual. More importantly, I need to remind everyone, because apparently we all forgot, Phil Jimenez, who did both the art and the writing for this book, is a Islamophobe. Phil Jimenez is one of those people who leverages the fact that he is a gay man to spit racist vitriol out into the world. More importantly, this post that he made where he's like, oh, you know, you're campaigning for the rights of Muslims, well, Muslims would kill you. And it's like, dude, what the fuck? I'm gonna say something pretty rancid. It's the first thing that came to mind. Why did Kevin Conroy die, but he's still alive? Phil Jimenez is a Islamophobe. Do not support him or his work. I don't care what he does with Donna. Like, DC fans, you guys let too many Islamophobes in your fucking spaces. You need to start cracking down on that shit, like, fast. Like, there's been, like, a whole ongoing conversation about how much fandom is, like, kind of antagonistic towards minorities, you know, sapphics, people of color, like, and you guys keep on proving it right by the fact that you are still praising Phil Jimenez, despite the fact he is a raging Islamophobe. The fact that you guys also support Tom King and keep going anytime he's being brought up for his war crimes, you keep going, oh, but he wrote Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? I don't give a fuck anymore. Okay, now on to the indies. I specifically want to talk about what IDW is releasing, as I always do, because I'm not gonna lie, they are my favorite indie publisher. I've said this multiple times. But, so we have Monster High World Scare #1, which I believe is a compilation book of a bunch of different Monster High stories, so if you're trying to get into Monster High comics, good place to start. Go read Monster High, it's great. We have Sonic the Hedgehog issue 80. This is the start of a new arc for Sonic. So if you're thinking about jumping onto Sonic comics, go. Let me tell you, Your local comic book shop sells out of Sonic comics fast. You gotta get in there quickly. Like, it's fucking Sonic the Hedgehog. But more importantly, the best IDW release this week, or no, hold on. I'm gonna talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles first.
New Godzilla.
Shh, you're spoiling it. There's a new Godzilla vs. America. This time he's fighting Boston. Who the fuck came up with Godzilla vs. America? And can you be on every Godzilla book ever? Oh my god, and we have a fucking Mothra story in this. So, the 4 stories in Godzilla vs. Boston are The Great Gorilla Whale by Steve Orlando. Then you have, Make Way for Mothra by Hannah Cha. Then, Godzilla vs. the Lobster That Attacked Boston. And the last one being, The Green Line by Hayden Sherman? I fucking love Godzilla vs. America. I think that this is probably one of the best series that IDW has been doing. If you're at your local comic book shop, go pick up Godzilla vs. America Boston. I think they might still have Chicago and Los Angeles, depending on how stocked your local comic book shop is. But if you see them, grab them. They're great. I especially like the Chicago one because they put in a reference to Indiana and how much we just get Chicago shit. It's great. It's wonderful. There's one other indie publisher I do want to mention, Mad Cave. They now have a new Speed Racer book. I've yet to read it yet. I was waiting till we went to my local comic book shop. But there's a new Speed Racer #1. I'm super excited for it. I fucking love Speed Racer. Watch the 2008 Speed Racer film by the Wachowski sisters. That's what got me into Speed Racer, by the way. It's a cinematic masterpiece. It's so great. I watched an hour-long video analyzing how they use frame rates in that movie. It was great. I fucking love Speed Racer. Okay, and then now I'm going on to announcements. Okay, so we have a few announcements of DC Compacts, Omnis, and DC Finest. I'm only going to mention the ones that really matter to me. Unfortunately, we are getting a DC Compact of Batgirl of Burnside, which means that annoying people who don't read comics we've been having Barbara discourse for the past, couple days. It's annoying as hell and I need it to stop. And this book is not going to be helping. I personally am probably going to pick up Gotham Central by Ed Brubaker. I've heard good things about it. That's kind of the one where everyone's like, oh, this is the really good DC Compact you should pick up. And everything else is kind of a flop. I might, however, get my cousin the DC Compact of Under the Red Hood. I do know that he's read it digitally, but I don't know if he wants a physical copy. But also at the same time, I have a physical copy. So I might just give him that. In the world of DC omnibuses, though, I guess the really important one for me in terms of DC Omnis is the fact that we are getting a Zatanna by Paul Dini Omni. So if you've not checked out Paul Dini's Zatanna run, this was the definitive Zatanna series for a long time. I highly recommend you check it out. We're also getting Bronze Age Teen Titans and Silver Age Supergirl in Volume 1 of their omnibuses. So I say that's pretty good. I like Supergirl. In DC Finest news, we are getting a fourth world. We're getting a fourth world book. I don't think that they have announced what issues are going to be collected in it. I do think, obviously, you're going to do the Dark Side issue of Jimmy Olsen. You're going to do a couple issues of New Gods. You're going to do a couple issues of Mr. Miracle and the Forever People. So it's going to be a good time, especially if you want to just, dip your toes into some Jack Kirby. We also did get a new book announcement. So DC just announced a new Black Label series about Batman, Green Arrow, and The Question. But how they announced it is that there's, little slashes in between them. So I don't know if it's, one singular story involving all of them or three separate ones. I don't know if it's one singular story involving them or three separate ones. But unfortunately, it is Vic Sage Question. Which means that DC Comics has gone woke. What? I don't know why Daystar was just saying that, people are complaining that DC went woke. about this announcement. They're like, oh, I hope this isn't woke. It's a bunch of bots in the comments. Is it woke to have 3 white men in your comic? I don't know. Honestly, if I was pitching this book, I would personally go Cassandra, Renee, and Emiko. But I also heard Daystar be like, I think it should be Huntress, Renee, and Connor. And I also accept that. That is also a good answer. Anyway, food is here, so I'm ready to, like, stop talking. So that's kind of it for Last Week in Comics. Up here is your next recommended video, is an episode of Ash and Their Fantastic Friends, my live show I do every Saturday, 9 p.m. EST. Is it another episode of Last Week in Comics? Is it one of those comic book videos I have yet to film? I don't fucking know. No one tells me shit. When I look at it, it's just a bunch of episodes of the podcast because they're 5 hours long and I never watch all of them. Down here is the rest of the playlist for Last Week in Comics. I've been doing this since November 2024, so if you want to find out what happened in the last week, the last week of comics, you can click right there. Over here is the subscribe button. I am going to, upcoming videos, how to collect comics, stuff about, like, is CGC, the comics grading company, is that a scam? How to protect your comics, Wyatt Wingfoot video essay. Like, I'm hopefully doing other stuff. The problem is that I work 40 hours a week on top of this. So please, like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff so I can stop working as much. I mean, I'm going back to school, but, like, I want to stop working as much. Also, my Ko-fi link is down below. If there's a book that you want me to read specifically and talk about, shoot me, like, $5 and I'll do it. Like, dead ass. Just shoot me, like, $5. Maybe 10, depending on how long it is. But yeah, I'm done talking now. Anyway, and, oh god, this is gonna hurt. And cut.
Baby.